Is it okay if we get started?
Yes, let's
All
go.
right, excellent. So, welcome everybody to the Carnegie General Meeting for January 2026. Excited to start a new year, a new semester, although we are already 1 month in. So, we'll go ahead and open the meeting tonight at 7:03 p.m. So, let's talk a little bit about the agenda, what we have. We actually have quite a few speakers tonight, and we're going to let our speakers go first. This go round, we've got some alumni that are coming to talk to us. We're going to hear from some former Carnegie grad students, as well as a parent as well. These are recipients of our scholarship from last year. So it's great that they're going to be here to talk. We're also going to have a representative of Montrose ER, which is a wonderful sponsor of ours. Also, Dr. Haney is here to talk about first generation college trip that will be happening. And then we'll go through just kind of our regular reporting. So before we begin, just to as a reminder, where are our minutes? They are on the Carnegie PTO site on Membership Toolkit. You can look at those there. They are posted. This is just a sample of what those look like. And hopefully people had a couple minutes to approve those. If I could have a motion to approve the minutes from November's meeting. Just
I motion.
Thank you, Yasi.
I
Do I have
second.
a second?
I second.
Thank you, Gari. Okay. The minutes are approved from November's meeting, and we shall move forward. So first off,
Um,
oh, I'm
can I?
sorry.
No, I'm just going to interrupt for
Please.
just one quick second and
Sure.
let everybody know that for most of our PTO meetings, this is something key for you to do. Keep an eye on the chat because we will be putting in links there. And also have your phone ready or another device that you can grab QR codes from because there will be several throughout the meeting as we go forward. So just keep an eye on the chat and watch for those QR codes so you can kind of get more information from everything that we're displaying. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Gari. Do you want to take us into the introductions for our alumni?
Yeah, for sure. So we have Samir Kasam here. He is a CVHS graduate from last year. He's doing computer science at UC Berkeley. Samir, are you on? Do you want to come on and say hello?
Hi.
Hey, Samir. And then we also have Andrew Lee, who's doing interactive biology at also at UC Berkeley. Andrew, are you on? Do you want to say hello?
Yep. Hello. I'm here.
Hey, Andrew. And then we also have Samir's mom, and I did ask his permission to bring her on. She has been, Karima, if you want to say hello as well, she has
Hi.
been a huge supporter of the PTO in the years that she was here at Carnegie with us. And so I think it's going to be a really interesting panel for us to have the students that are coming back, as well as Karima, who can, be a little bit more relatable from a parent perspective. So, Elizabeth, I know we have some questions for them. I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll give this Samir and Andrew. This is kind of directed towards you, and both of you can answer as you see fit. So if you could first just kind of briefly introduce yourself and share kind of what your freshman year has looked like, and is it kind of matching up with what your expectations were coming out of Carnegie? How's it going?
Um, I can go first. I think my freshman year has been it's been pretty tough, of course. Um, like I will say that a lot of my classmates, a lot of people in my major in the same classes as me, I have found that it seems like they're a lot more unprepared for the course load that we're given as opposed to me. I think going to Carnegie for sure definitely prepared me for how to knowing how to handle an intense course load and how to manage my time and what to do. All that being said, it's of course it's still tough, but I think it's definitely manageable and like I know what to do in situations.
That's good. You know what? It's funny when we did this last year also with some senior scholarship recipients, it was the same, right? Which is like as a parent is really nice to hear that Carnegie does such a great job kind of preparing you for college, especially, tough schools like, a tough school like both of you are at. I think that's so great and reassuring to hear as a parent. Andrew, what about you?
Yeah, I had to agree with Samir. I think Carnegie did a really good job of preparing us. Like in a lot of my classes, I'm surrounded by, valedictorian people that top their class. But they're struggling, which I think is something that they didn't really encounter. Like, of course, Berkeley's hard, but Carnegie for sure was able to like prepare us on a level to where we're ready for the challenge. We're ready to embrace the culture. Of course, there's competition, but I mean, it's not something that I guess, it's not anything that's new to us. So I guess in that case, like, Carnegie did a really good job at preparing us for this sort of environment.
I'm sure that's great for Principal Moss to hear too. Being on the phone, right? I'm gonna ask just a couple more questions. So, um, what I guess like in coming into to college, have you faced any real challenges yet how different is it, from high school? I think we, heard a little bit about how Carnegie's prepared you, but what I guess have you had any significant kind of challenges that you've had to overcome since you've begun?
Yeah, I will say that though Carnegie did prepare me on how to handle like a huge course load, I think a big difference between college and high school that high school just can't really prepare you for is how unstructured college is. For example, last semester, none of my classes were actually mandatory. My discussions weren't mandatory either. It was just I had to submit the homework on time and I had to show up to the midterm and show up to the final, and that's it. And I think that's very different from high school where we have to show up to class every day. We have to do all the assignments our teachers tell us to do. We have to listen to every single lecture and we have to do everything. And I think I know, like, obviously, high schoolers will complain about having so much work and this and that. But when it really comes down to it, when the test comes around and the AP exam comes around, you're prepared and you're ready for it because you were forced to be prepared for it. I think that's different from college, where like it's up to me whether or not I'm prepared for it. I have to judge if I need to go to office hours or if I can skip this lecture and do something else, or if I need to attend all the lectures. So I think definitely the first few weeks that was I wouldn't say a surprise, but it took some getting used to. But I think after a little bit, honestly, I really like it because it's self-paced. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time since I've been in in college, but yeah, that's so different, right? You're so used to everybody telling you kind of what to do, and then nobody tells you, and it's up to you. And you want to spend your time wisely, but also have fun. So I can imagine that's really it's tough to balance all of that. Andrew, what about you?
Yeah, so I'd say the biggest difference, or I guess challenge for me, is just being away from home. It's really different living in California compared to Texas. I mean, like right now there's the freeze, and then in Texas and then in California, it's like the same temperature all year round. Um, I'd also say for the classes, I guess that it's like what Samir said, there's a lot less hand holding, and as well as like I guess the tests, like everything's a lot more high stakes. Like you failing one test can make or break your grade. And I think that's something that um I guess the pressure gets to you sometimes, but like as long as you study, work hard, it's nothing like we're not ready for.
Yeah, absolutely. So how about what has been the best part of college so far? What is, what have you really enjoyed?
I think for me, it's definitely gonna have to be the social aspect. I think just being on a college campus where you there's so many people that it's impossible to know everyone is it's really amazing because you can genuinely meet 10 new people every day and not run out of people to meet. And it's also so diverse. Like there's people from all over the world with so many different interests doing so many different things. It's I feel it just broadens your perspective a lot. And I think it's not really something you can get in high school or living at home or anything. That's also another reason I think I'm happy that I didn't stay in state. Um, I feel like it's nice to not know anybody because it forces me to have to know people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Expand your horizons, right? Andrew?
Yeah. So I'd say, I guess the best part for me has just been like, I guess free will. I can make my own schedule to like however I want, like I guess I can structure my classes, my meetings, my clubs like in the way that I want to. And then, if like I want to go get something to eat out at like late at night, I can just walk out my door and go.
Hmm.
Um, and of course, like what Samir said, um, I was actually kind of scared coming to Berkeley because there's so many people, it's a big public school. But I think that's part of that's what's so great about it. There's so many people, so many like intellectually stimulating like environments that um, like it's just a good experience to have every day.
Question from the chat. Looking back at your college application process, what advice do you have for seniors or juniors that are going through the process now? That's a great question. Sure, parents are wondering that too.
Um, I think I know everyone kind of says be yourself, but I think it's really a lot more important than people think it is. I think editing your application to kind of embellish yourself or make you sound better or I don't know, more accomplished. I don't think that's a good idea because not only do I think it's kind of easy to see through, but I also don't think it's that important in your essays. I
Hmm.
think you should let your activity shine through in your activity session and in your essays really prioritize showing your personality. I honestly, you don't even need to talk about any accomplishments or look impressive at all in your essays. Maybe if there is an essay about academic interest, you can talk about that. But for the rest of your essays, for the most part, I think I think learning about also going just writing the essays yourself, you learn about yourself, and I think through that you find things to write about. But my best advice is just don't try to don't try to glaze yourself or make yourself sound amazing in the essays. Like just really just show your personality because that's what they're looking for. They want someone personable. They want like someone with a personality to come to their school, not some robot.
That was yeah, those are great points. Andrew, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with just like doing what makes you you. I think a really big part of like why I was successful during the college application process, it's just because I knew like my story, why I did things, how all my activities sort of or like I guess all my extracurricular activities tied together, what were my motivations behind those. And I think that if you can tell that in a very impactful and like clear way, admissions officers will know that, this person's passionate about what they're doing. They will likely succeed at my institution. And I want to admit them for those reasons.
That's fantastic. I'm going to switch gears and talk to Kamira. Question for you: what advice would you give parents who are supporting their students going through this stage in this application process? Kind of just dovetailing on the end of that.
Were you asking me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, it was a tough year for sure. That year is tough. So I sympathize and empathize with the students and parents and the teachers and the staff. But I think, I think starting early I think for Samir, I think, and a lot of his friends, getting through the SAT the year before. I don't know what year we're talking right now. I guess it's all of, yeah, 4 years. So yeah, getting the SAT out of there was, I think, really important and helpful. And then, of course, the PSAT is extremely important. I don't think that we realized how important it was. And luckily, it did help out at the end with being a national merit or just getting some applications. I think it's seen as a pretty high achievement to score a certain PSAT score. So those are things I would say, like, don't take it lightly, both
Mm.
those the tests. And then I think it's always important. I think at some point you kind of have to let them decide their path. I had at some point I said, okay, fine. I had too many edits. Let's just say, I had just too much opinion, and I just backed off at a certain point. And then either you find an editor, right? You get somebody, or you let the counselors, teachers provide their perspective if the student is looking for one. Um, I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I think the activities really matter. Of course, the grades and the GPAs matter just as much. And this is not right. The high school is not the time to take chances, and so I think we learned. Luckily, Samir was able to pull his grades together, but I think he was a little bit lax the first year and had to like pull it together the last 2 years. So it worked out. But I think you always learn from your mistakes, and I think that's something he probably could relate to.
Thank you so much, Kareem. Another question. Senior year is also an emotional time. And maybe you don't have experience with this, but
Oh
other,
no, I do. I do.
we see in the chat. So
Yeah.
what's your advice to
No,
do
I
rejection?
think, it was a tough year. You get
Yeah.
through all that. But I think, I used to attend those webinars by the different counselors, right? And it was clear that it was a very competitive process, right? There's no doubt about it, especially if you are ambitious and you want to go to those top schools, then for sure, you have to be ahead of the game. You have to stand out. And so it was
Yeah.
constantly, right? You got to stand out. You got to stand out. And all those things matter. But to Summer's point, um, don't overdo it, because you could go out of your way and you may still not make that impact that you're supposed to make for the schools to see you as a whole holistic student that they're looking for. So all those things do matter. And I used to attend, and I knew it was going to be competitive. And I also knew from past experiences, students, who did work so hard, did everything right, and still didn't get into those schools. So we went into this process with, like, our expectations set. And yeah, those first few rejections were really painful. And I think Samir handled it much better than I did. I'll be honest.
Sure.
Yeah, I was sitting in a corner, was like, what? Why? Right?
Mm.
And then getting the few acceptances made all the difference, obviously. So you just need a few of those. But he applied to 20 colleges, so we got our share of rejections for sure. But he ended up in the place that he couldn't be any more happier. And I've always heard that it always works out at the end, and it did for him, and I'm sure it did for Andrew too.
Oh man, thank you so much for your time. All of you. I know that it is a lot to ask for you guys to come back in here, but we really so much appreciate your time and your guidance. And Karima, thank you so much for also offering your insight as a parent, because as somebody who hasn't even gotten to that stage yet, it's really nice to hear
Yeah,
from
no,
a
no, you're
parent as
gonna be
we
fine. It's gonna be okay. I'm here. I think Ori has my number if anybody wants to reach out. It's gonna be just fine. Just work hard, all right? Just as that's what the advice is, don't slack off. You have to work hard. And you'll get the results. All right, everyone. Take
Excellent.
care.
Thank you all so much. Thank you, Samir. Thank you, Karima. Thank you, Andrew, for your time. We'll let you go. I know that your time is precious. So thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank
Bye.
you for having me.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay, let me continue. Let me reshare just a second, everybody. That was great.
It really was.
Yeah,
Very, very nice to hear from them.
absolutely. Yasi, I would love for you to introduce our next guest.
Hi, thanks, Elizabeth. Yes, I would be honored to introduce Alexa from Montrose and the Heights ER. I have had the privilege of working with her on a couple of things in the last few weeks. They have been so lovely and supportive of our school and PTO, and I had the chance to actually go visit their facility. It's like a 1 minute walk or drive from our school. It's very close. You guys probably have all driven by it. Really, really nice facility, lovely people. And she was sweet and kind enough to join our meeting today to speak a little bit about what they do there and what the many things they have to offer. So yes, thank you, Alexa. Alexa, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you so much for that introduction. I really appreciate that. And it's been really great getting to work with your amazing school. You guys have a lot of really innovative ideas for the students there, which I just think is really cool and very different from when I went to high school. Just seeing, how much like leadership and control these kids have and, how smart they are already. And so yeah, it's awesome. And I know it has a lot to do with the parents as well. So yeah, it's exciting. But yeah, so I am the marketing representative from Heights and Montrose Emergency Room. So we have two locations. We have one in Montrose, which is on Montrose and Gray Street. And then our other location is in the Heights, and it's on Yale Street, right next to Whole Foods. So they're about a 10-minute proximity from each other. And I would say the closest ER to you guys would be the Montrose one. Just a couple things about our ER. We're full service, so we have CT, X-ray, ultrasound, on-site laboratory. We have, an ER doctor on staff at all times, a registered nurse, a radiology technician. So if you need imaging done, anything like that, we've got you covered. Um, Another thing is we're open 24 hours, 7 days a week. We see all ages. So if you're a teenager or your younger kid is having like stomach pains, earaches, whatever it is, randomly at the middle of the night, you can bring them to us and we'll, take care of them. We also waive copays. So if you have any commercial insurance, whether that's, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Aetna, United, when the students, or not the students, when you guys come in or anybody comes in, if they have that insurance and their ID, they're not going to get a bill. We don't do any balance billing. Whatever your insurance is willing to pay, we accept. If they're not willing to pay, we honor that. We don't bill the patient ever. You'll get an explanation of benefits, which, explains how much your service costed, but you're not having to pay that bill. So if you're getting, expensive imaging done, it really helps to not have to worry about that crazy ER bill that I know we've probably all experienced in the past. Um, so yeah, that's one thing. And then another thing is we offer free CPR classes. So if any of you guys need to get certified, or if there's any Boy Scout troops, Girl Scout troops, anything like that, and you want to reach out to me, I know Yasi would be happy to share my information. That's free of cost. We can bring it to you. We can bring it to the school. You guys can come to our ER, and we can have the class. And it's you get fully certified, BLS. CPR, our city ambulance that the company that works with us, they transfer our patients over to, whatever hospital that, of their choice. They teach the CPR classes. They're great. They know what they're doing. We're actually having a CPR class tomorrow at our Montrose facility at 5:30. So if anyone's interested in that, um, you can come. You don't need to bring anything, just yourself. I'm trying to think what else. So yeah, that's some of the stuff that our ER offers if you ever need us. Um, Another thing that I wanted to do is just give a couple flu tips for you guys. Some of this is like obvious, but I feel like sometimes when like especially like kids are busy throughout the day, they're not thinking about simple things like washing their hands. So first we want to try and stop the spread. So always washing your hands. uh, trying to keep your immune system up, eating healthy. And if you're not eating the fruits and vegetables, maybe taking vitamin C, vitamin D, like those things, help boost your immune system. And I feel like a lot of us get busy and forget to do that. Even us as adults, we could all do better. So, hygiene, make sure, remind your kids to wash their hands. I feel like we're pretty good as adults, but I feel like kids, when they're going from like clubs and sports activities and running around, they're forgetting to do that. So, washing your hands, hand sanitizer, cleaning surfaces, like cleaning their like tablet screens, laptops, phones, it's always here next to your face. So that's stopping the spread. What else? Obviously wear masks, especially if you have a cough. Try to prevent, from spreading to other people if you're in the airport, somewhere crowded. And if you end up, getting the flu, some tips, to, help manage those symptoms. Obviously, drinking hot water, tea, soup, um, having like a lot of hot showers, hot baths, that'll kind of help you feel better, get that congestion out. Even just for colds, I just got over, or I'm getting over a cold actually. So these are all things that I've been trying to do to get better. Yeah. And, managing ibuprofen, Tylenol, Advil, all that good stuff helps. And then, I mean, returning to school and work, I would say, the golden rule is 24 hours of no symptoms without the help of medicine. And then you're pretty much free to come back. But I'd still say maybe stay home a little longer if you have a cough, because you can still spread more to everybody else. Um, but yeah, humidifiers if you have one of those. Oh, gargling salt water, that'll help prevent it from even coming. Um, yeah, those are a few of my tips. Nothing too medical, but just stuff that I kind of go by. I mean, I just do the marketing, but if you ever have any like more in-depth questions about the flu or just anything, we have doctors always on standby. So, I'm always willing to help with that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it from us. Feel free
Thanks,
to ask
Alex.
Yasi if you have any questions. We're always here for you guys.
Thank you, Alexa. That's wonderful. And your facility, like I said, having visited, is just so nice. It's so welcoming, and you have all those access to all those imaging devices. That's really
Mm-hmm.
great. I was going to ask you, I should have probably put some of your contact information in here, but if somebody does want to get in touch
Yeah.
with you regarding CPR classes or anything like that, do you want me to put your email address, or is there
Yeah.
a different? Do you want me to
No,
do
no,
the
no.
mark? Is that okay?
Yeah, you can even I don't mind if you put my phone number either if that's easier for people.
Okay.
It
I'm gonna
helps me
I
out.
Sorry, babes. Yes,
Yeah.
okay. I thank you for that. Thank you for being so easily accessible and always so
Yeah,
available. I
absolutely.
just put your email address in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So if anybody is on this call and wants to write it down so that if you have questions about Montrose ER or even the Heights one and anything else you want to ask Alexa, her email address is on there.
Yeah. And I am looking forward to doing more with the high school. So if any
Yes.
parents have any ideas, I you know, I'm open to hear
Yeah.
more. So and see what we
Thank
can how we can
you.
give back. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Just to remind any parents who weren't here on our November meeting, Alexa and Montrose ER were kind enough to sponsor a lot of our holiday baskets and also um, have already expressed interest in helping us with the senior scholarship. So you guys have already shown up for us, and you're one of our beloved corporate sponsors. So thank you so much
Yay.
for already doing so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thank you
we're
so
looking
much,
forward.
Alexa. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Y'all too. Thank you so much.
Bye.
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 All right. Gari, I think we'll go to you because I think then we have a little bit more a little bit
Yep.
more special agenda stuff. So go
Yep.
ahead.
Yep. Thank you everybody for kind of being flexible tonight as we shifted things up a little bit. We brought up the special agenda just to meet some of our schedules. for the speakers. So let's get started with the regular programming, so to speak. I wanted to share some just resources that the PTO has had for a while and that we've shared with prior classes that I don't believe we've spoken about this year. So I wanted to talk about our YouTube channel, and I put the link in the chat. So if you want to grab it there, you can. If you want to click on one of the QR codes, I actually don't remember exactly which one is which, but you might want to click on all four of them. So I wanted to encourage you to go to the YouTube channel. There's a lot of different really great videos there, some resources on parent information and things that we've done in the past. But I specifically want to call your attention to a college readiness series that we've done for about the last maybe 3 years or so. And there's a lot of good videos out there where we've had different speakers come and talk about how to get ready for the college application process, how to apply for scholarships, the timing of the scholarships, how to apply for the FAFSA. So there's a lot of really good information there. I would highly encourage you to click on that and then watch the video of your choice. In addition to that, there is another organization that we work with that has donated to us in the past, also worked with us in the past. They've brought speakers for our PTO events, and it's called the Young Women's Leadership Challenge organization. It's a nonprofit, and they do classes throughout the year, and it's a throughout the year program, but they also do a summer session, and their applications for the summer session are open. Last year, I believe there were about somewhere between 12 and 15 Carnegie young women that participated in this. And they came back raving about the program, how great it was, and how empowering it was for them to be part of this. Um, the lady that runs this program, she had come and spoken to us a couple of PTO meetings back, and I'm going to put the link for that video. She came to the PTO meeting and spoke about financial literacy, which is, I know it's a topic that's really close to my heart. It's not something that the student just knows or is taught in school. It was a really interesting kind of discussion with her. So I encourage you to jump online and watch that video if you get a chance. Elizabeth, do you want to move on to the next slide? I wanted to talk about a couple of different things that are happening at the school and with the PTO. So we have a principal's breakfast that's coming up. There's going to be a little bit more information shared later in this program, but I did want to put that kind of this is a very sought after kind of event. I get usually this time of year is when people start messaging to say, hey, when is that? I don't want to miss it. If you have been a PTO donor and you see the different levels, there's a certain level where you start getting invited to this event. It's a by invite only. And it's really mingling with the principal, being able to meet other parents and really have an opportunity to kind of be part of this group and get appreciated for some of the work you've done and some of the funds you've donated. In addition to that, I know we have Dr. Haney here. Dr. Haney, are you here? I'm going to ask for you to speak in just a few minutes. Okay, we'll come back to her. But Dr. Haney does this really amazing college trip that she plans for the first generation club in school. And I don't want to take away too much of her thunder, but it's for kids who are first generation going to college. And so it's a really interesting club. It's a group of kids that might not have the experience of other parents that have gone to college and hence be able to show them the way. And so Dr. Haney kind of helps guide and provide any, answers to any questions they have, and this very like critical time, advice in this time when students are really in need of a shining light. So I think very highly of this program. It's something that the PTO sponsors, and we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. In addition to that, so last year, when we shared information about the first generation college trip, we also got quite a few emails from junior parents saying, hey, my kids didn't qualify to go for this trip, but we also want to do a trip. So this year, the PTO is attempting to put together a junior class Texas college tour. This is open to all junior class students. So if you are a parent of a junior and you are interested in going, please contact me. I'm going to put my email in the chat in just a minute. Contact me and I'll make sure you get added to the right WhatsApp group where we are making these plans right now. Moving on to PTO scholarships and graduating seniors. So some of you that have been here for a while will know this. For the folks that don't know this, there is a annual PTO scholarship that is awarded to graduating seniors. And this year also, we are expanding that scholarship to more seniors than we gave last year. And we start the process around this time. So keep an eye out. There will be information coming up in your emails as well as in the WhatsApp groups. If you have not signed up for the PTO, I highly encourage you to sign up now so that you can be informed and be aware of some of these fun things that are happening that students as well as parents can take advantage of. Okay. With that, Elizabeth, I'm going to hand it back to you. I know we were looking for Dr. Haney.
Yes, I don't believe that she is on the list right now that she's here. So maybe we'll just move forward for now and then come back and see. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds fine. I just saw really a quick question, if I can take a minute to answer it. Someone was asking if we still needed scholarship judges. And Mary, I believe we are full, right? The request went out a couple of weeks ago, and this is
I believe that we're full, yes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Unless
the
Mary wants to.
scholarship. Yeah, that's correct. It's full.
Okay. This is a popular, it's a popular committee to participate on. We typically require about 20 or so judges, and I think we've found the team. We will, however, later in the year, we will be passing out a volunteer request for award night. So if you want to participate as a junior, freshman, or a sophomore parent to see what that experience is and to help with that experience, we, just keep an eye out for that. We will be passing that out a little bit later in the year. Okay, back to you.
Great, thank you. So we'll just scooch on forward real quick. So Vaibhavi is not here. This is just an information only. After the discussion, and thank you very much, Gary, about pointing out some things about the first generation university tour that we do. We have approved as a board the expenses for that tour process that was suggested by Dr. Haney. So that's just information only. Principal Moss, if it's okay, I'll just turn it over to you now for your report.
Sure. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for being here. And I'm always thrilled when we have so many participants. So I know it's 60 plus. So thank you all for being here tonight. Just some things going on at the school. I just wanted to mention to everyone, first and foremost, as you all know, we're in cycle 4 right now, and that's January 6th until February the 20th. But please be on the lookout for progress reports, which will be distributed this Friday, January the 30th. Many of you also probably know that this is the testing season. Seems like every time we turn around, there's testing. We've had interim star, we've had NWEA map testing, which actually took place today, and we have one more day of that with biology and geometry. So today and tomorrow are block days. Students in geometry and biology will take that test within their 90-minute class periods, well, today and also tomorrow. And we recently also had the preliminary SAT for juniors. And just today, or actually yesterday, I got the results back from that. And I'm very happy to report that 97% of our juniors actually passed the interim test. That is a good indicator of how they will perform on the real SAT, which is scheduled for Thursday, March the 5th. And of course, tonight we heard from our alumni and alumni parent about the SAT and how important that is. So we very much want our students to do extremely well on the SAT. And the great resource for that all students in HISD have access to is Khan Academy. So there are resources on Khan Academy that can certainly help our students in preparation for March the 5th. And actually, let me back up to this upcoming Friday. Last year, we submitted an application. We were actually nominated to be a National Blue Ribbon School Award recipient. And then right before finding out, the national government decided to not pursue that any longer. However, we're just extremely happy that the state decided to celebrate the schools that were nominated. So this Friday, Ms. Matsu and I will travel to Austin, Texas, where we will be, I believe, one of 27 or so schools that will receive the inaugural Lone Star Award. So that's just another feather in Carnegie's cap. So we look forward to bringing that back with us. And pretty much that is it. We still struggle with our HVAC system, but I guess today wasn't as bad. I didn't hear about any issues in the classrooms, but the front desk and some of the administrative offices did not have heat. And so it might have been upper 50s in those offices. But there are some plans to work with some entities to see what can be done. I'm not so much worried about right now. I know that temperatures will be increasing, or at least external temperatures will be increasing, but we definitely want to try to do our best to resolve what issues will arise once, I guess, May hits. And thank you to some of our executive PTO board members who have some ideas to assist with that. And then last but not least, this is not a lot to report on, but many of you know that Carnegie is one of 7 schools that are eligible to become part of the 1882 partnership. Carnegie and 2 other schools decided to request a year of planning, but I have continued to attend the meetings as if we will be a part of it one day, just in case we as a school and a community decide that we want to pursue that and submit an intent to apply basically this time next year. There are 4 schools that did submit their intent to apply, and those are being reviewed by HISD prior to sending them to the Texas Education Agency. And I believe sometime in March, they will find out if those applications have been approved, if the contracts are approved, so on and so forth. So we have 4 schools that we can rely upon with our process should we decide to pursue it for next year. But I mention this because we want to start forming committees. And besides Carnegie administration and teachers, we also want to invite parents who might have interest in what will happen within basically the next year. It's kind of quiet right now, but I would like us to consider what we would like to see in our contract, what kind of 501c3 nonprofit organization we'd like to put together. So I imagine maybe sometime in March or maybe right after spring break, we'll have some time dedicated to being transparent with everyone and seeing who might want to play a role as a member of our committee going forward. And that's it for me.
Great. Principal Moss, just one quick question from the chat. It's about the SAT when that's actually taking place. Apparently, in the fall, it was communicated that SAT for juniors was going to be scheduled for April 1st. Has that changed? Is it now in March, as you had mentioned?
So I checked an email that I received, and let me double check on that.
Sure. No problem, Principal Moss. If we can always, you can just pop back in here when, and let us know.
Most certainly. And once
Yeah.
I find it, I will put it in the chat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so just moving along. Thank you so much, Prince Moss. There's always so much going on, and appreciate your update as always. It's great. It's always great to hear from you, and we thank you so much for participating. I know it's difficult.
Thank you. And you know what?
Um,
I have found something also on Wednesday, April the 1st.
yeah,
But let me check with personnel because there might be an opportunity for seniors to take it once again, and that would be probably very few seniors at that point. But I will confirm and definitely share that with the PTO so we can distribute that to really all families, especially juniors and seniors.
great. Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Miss Brody, do you have anything from a liaison standpoint that you'd like to bring up today?
Hi guys. Nothing from the teachers. Thank you so much for our lunch today. It was absolutely delicious.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Yasi, I'm gonna come right back to you.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth. I just want to thank everybody, all the parents who are on here and anybody who ends up watching this after the fact, for being part of the school, for being part of the PTO, and for anybody who has donated and contributed to the PTO. A lot of the programs that you heard Gary talk about, you know, the scholarships that come up, the college tours, the teacher lunches, a lot of these things that you hear about, we are lucky enough to be able to fund with your kind and generous donations. So I just want to, on behalf of all of us, thank everybody who's donated and everybody who's part of the PTO. Together, you guys really help make this school such a wonderful place. I also just want to make sure to thank some of our corporate benefactors. We have a few on board now, a few local places that have been kind enough to give us higher donations. And we just want to thank them very much for being, again, part of our family and for helping make all of our events and activities possible. So thank you so much. Okay, we can go to the next slide. Okay, perfect. So you heard Gary talk about this breakfast with the principal. Yes, it is definitely a very coveted invitation. It is so nice just to all get together and have some coffee. And bites to eat and just get to, talk with Principal Moss and ask each other some of our questions and concerns. And the people who saw the Friends and Family campaign at the beginning of the year, we had a few months where that campaign was going on, and anybody who donated from $500 plus will get an invitation to come and hang out with each other and also to have breakfast with Principal Moss. So you will be getting invitations for that, but don't despair if you're on this call and you think I completely missed whatever this campaign was, and I wish I could also come to this breakfast. It's on February 20th, and we are never going to say no to anybody who wants to keep contributing to the PTO so that we can keep making the school, have the things that it needs. And if you are so tempted or desire to contribute, you still can. There is a QR code on this flyer, and I'll be sure to put this flyer out in our social media and our lovely social media team and IT team will do it, but I'll make sure that I try to send this out to other places so that you guys can see it. And if you want, you can still contribute and you can still be part of this. So thanks for anybody who has already contributed. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you. And please contribute if you haven't and you feel like it. So that's it for the principal's breakfast. Thank you, Principal Moss, for already agreeing to be there on that day. Elizabeth, I think I have one more slide, possibly. Do I?
Whoops, sorry, I was on mute. Just to reiterate, those invitations have not been sent out yet. So
no, they haven't.
If you're wondering, oh my gosh, I didn't receive it, you didn't because we haven't sent it. So don't.
Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah.
So don't worry. Don't worry. I know everybody is anxious to have, bites with the principal.
And actually, Elizabeth, sorry, if you would go back to
Yeah, sure.
my emails on this one too. If
I think I
anything,
can.
if any of you have any questions about this, or if the invitations do go out and you, for any reason, don't get one and you think that you should have, and anything else regarding any of these matters, please feel free to email me. My email is on this slide and on the next one too. So thanks, Elizabeth. Sorry about that.
Of course.
And just, thanks to all of you guys and your incredible generosity, have done a pretty good job actually at the end of January, raising a lot of the money that we were hoping to. So thank you so much, everyone. Again, we now get to do all this stuff for our teachers and our students and our staff. And, sometimes we have things come up, like we'll just get requests to help fund a theater thing or a college tour, and we'll all get together and we'll put it to the vote. But almost always we want to say yes to whatever our faculty, our staff, our students need. So we get to do that because you guys have helped us raise the money to do that. So, it goes to all these different things that you see. It goes to club support. It goes to things you might not hear about, like sometimes faculty needs, or, we give stipends to the teachers, student events, which we'll get to after my slide, I think, but we put together a few student events, and except for a menial ticket price, which we charge just to make sure that students actually show up, we basically fund the student events. So thank you guys so much. Please keep contributing if you feel like you want to and haven't yet. We have a few little events coming up. We'll have something coming up for Valentine's Day, so keep your eyes out for that. And yeah, I just can't thank you enough. So let's keep going until we reach our goal. And then there's nothing that says we can't go past our goal, just putting it out there. So and then I think I will have a lot more to say about our spring gala and probably auction called Crash Bash that we have every year, but we are just getting that off the ground, the planning phase of it. So I'll have more to say about that later.
All right. So I just want to bring up the ice skating social is happening this weekend. It is on Saturday after the mall closes, which is awesome. It's going to be, for for the Carnegie students. Sorry. Does somebody want to speak a little bit more about this? Who?
Yes,
Dan?
that's me. Yes,
That's
yes, yes.
I was thinking. I was hoping. I was gonna say
Somebody, that will be me.
yes. Thank you.
It's okay. It's all right. Thank you everybody for coming tonight. We all know our student, our children, they are studying very hard, testing season, so everybody is locked in. But we also, it's important for them to have some break and have some fun with their friends. So we're very excited to kick off the season with a super fun ice skating night coming up on January 31st at 9:15 p.m. That is correct. It's at night after the mall is closed. This is a great chance to hang out with friends, enjoy some time off campus, and try something fun, whether you're a pro skater or stepping on the ice for the first time. So spot are limited. So we encourage you to sign up early. We will have some food and drinks provided. Also, the shoes rental is also included in the price. Um, Once spaces are filled, we won't be able to add more. So mark your calendar and grab your spot today. I did talk to the security team at the Galleria, and you can drop off the student, your child, at the blue or orange underground parking lot. However, um, the the orange parking lot by the Gap store, which I'm not really familiar with that, but he said that by the Gap store will be the one that will be open after the hour. So the student can exit from that. But we would highly recommend that unless the parents are in the parking lot and somehow like come and kind of like do the matching with the child, then we will be able to let the kids out. Otherwise, they're gonna have to stay inside until we see the parents. Um, and then the other thing is, so please arrive 15 or 20 minutes before the mall close. That way, which is kind of like a bit easier for us to get people in. But we do have volunteers to be at those garage door to let our student in. So no, not a worry. And I do have, in case we need to have them somehow open the door at the other two garage, the blue and the orange by the food court, we have the secure number to call and they will assist us. Okay?
Dan, I did want to say one thing. This event only allows 150 students. By the way, it's a student-only event. That's the limit that the Galleria will allow on the ice. And last year, I think we clocked in at 148. So we got really, really close. And we are stopping taking tickets after we get to the 150, just so that we don't have to disappoint anybody. If your student has not signed up yet, I would go ahead and sign up. This is a really fun event. Kids, last year was the first year we hosted it, and somehow we found that just being able to be up that time of the night and being able to socialize, the kids just loved it. So definitely sign up. And I know my kids are going. And Mary, I saw you said your kids are going as well. So if your kid is telling you no one's going and hence I'm not leaving, then don't believe them because a lot of their friends are going to be there. Okay.
All right.
Somebody asked, sorry, hold on one
Yeah.
second.
Yep.
Someone asked if siblings are allowed. This has been a question that keeps coming up a lot. We do allow students to bring a friend or a cousin or a sibling. However, we need them to be students as well. So no, no adults or um, the, like college students. I think we're trying to keep it to be a high school experience. So be mindful of that. But if anyone else is coming, all the students that want to be on the ice will need a ticket. Yeah.
Also, I forgot to mention, today I received two artworks from Mr. Paris, the art teacher, and the two of his students submitted, and it's wonderful. It's amazing. So we would like to um, uh, have some merchandise uh, for Valentine's for their artwork. So I just want to mention so we can look out for that um, in next week.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Um, before we move on, we do have Dr. Haney here. Thank you so much, Dr. Haney, for joining us. I'm going to scooch back real quick on my presentation. So, Dr. Haney, thank you so much for being here.
Hi, thank you guys so much. I'm so sorry to have kept you waiting. I wrote down the date wrong, so I thought it
No,
was a
please.
Thursday. So thank you so much for having me and for yet again generously funding this trip. This trip is a real passion project for me. I think that it is a wonderful opportunity for our students and for our school. And without the PTO's generosity, it would not be possible. We do a lot of work with the kids, fundraising. I try to find grants from other places, but this is the piece that puts it all together. So, this will be the fourth year that you guys have generously funded this trip. And so we have twice done the I-10 route. And this year we're doing for the second time the I-45 route. So, for anybody who doesn't know, first generation, for most colleges in the United States. And what it means is a student who neither parent has graduated from a four-year college in the United States. So we did a survey last year, and about 50% of our students here at Carnegie reported themselves as being first generation. So this is a substantial body of our students. And there are lots of challenges that they face. So a lot of us, and the kids will talk about it. They often, when they write me letters of recommendation, I ask them for a story of grit. And one of the things that they'll talk about is just being that freshman in a human geography class and knowing that many of their peers in the classroom can go home and ask for help from their parents, and they can't. And so it's things like that. So we started this club about 6 years ago, right during the pandemic. And what we wanted to do was to help students address those gaps. So those things that they don't know. So we have a mentorship program and we do meetings every other week. We also do a fish camp. And so that's a week-long camp where we try to get kids comfortable with each other and with their mentors. And then we also do a camp in the summertime. And this trip that we do is actually a major incentive for prioritizing being part of the club, which I think can be so helpful. So this trip is something that they all look forward to, and they actually now it's so popular that the kids have to earn points in order to be on the trip. So they attend meetings, they engage in mentorship activities, they raise money. So they're doing all of those things as a way to earn their spot on the trip. So this is something that they really prize. And so it's great because it is a valuable experience in and of itself, but it also encourages them to come to those meetings and hear from college counselors and other things like that. So it's really phenomenal. This year we're going to be, so I try to have basically the what I'm trying to have is I want to have a mix of universities. And so we allow all ages to go on the trip. So some of these will be our seniors who are actually making decisions. And for some of them and for their families, it is not really easy or possible for them to go all the way to a college campus. So this may be one of the first times they've ever been on a college campus. And for others, especially our freshmen and sophomores, it can be just wonderful for them to get a sense of if my GPA gets just a little bit higher, these are things that are available for me. So that can be really wonderful. So I try to have an easy to get into public school, a hard to get into public school, an easy to get into smaller school, and a hard to get into smaller school. And so that's how we try to balance this trip. This year, we're trying to be really tightly in the Dallas area. So we're actually going to hit Sam Houston on the way, which is going to be a new school for us. That is an easy to get into public school, but it is one that offers terrific aid, and it is unique in Texas because it has a really phenomenal criminal justice program and has one of the only two body farms in the entire country. So for a lot of our students who are really interested in forensics, it's very appealing to them. So after that, we'll be going to UTD, which is a brand new school for me. I've never been there, but it is ranked the third best public school in Texas. So I'm excited to see what will happen there. We're going to go and visit dorms there and actually have lunch there. And we're going to be spending some time at the Dallas Galleria. So that's what your contributions are paying for. One of the tricky things is that we want to let them out in the evening for dinner, but in a very safe location. And so we're going to be going, so we're staying in a hotel that's right in the Galleria. And so we'll let them out for dinner before we bring them back to their hotels for curfew and taping them into their rooms so that nothing untoward happens. And then in the morning, we'll be going to Texas Women's University, which does accept men, but Carnegie students have had enormous success there, and they give great financial aid to our students. And then we'll be capping off the day with everybody's favorite UT Arlington. They do a fantastic tour where they show the kids actually get involved in making sports cars in some of the clubs, and so they show us all of that stuff. And so the kids always get really excited by that opportunity as well. So that is what your money is doing and all of your hard work. I know that y'all take a lot of work to raise all this money, and we are incredibly grateful that you give some of it to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Haney. Just the accolades in the chat. Thank you so much for everything that you do and all the support that you and the staff at Carnegie continues to to give our students and our children. So thank you very much.
You guys are super welcome.
All right. Excellent. Okay. I'm going to. All right. Mary.
Hey, sorry, took a while to unmute.
No, that's okay. Don't worry.
Hey, quickly updates. So thank you again. There's a lot of thank you coming your way. So we were able to provide the holiday basket for our families, our Carnegie families this year as well. And prior to that, we had the Thanksgiving basket as well. And this is all because of your generosity. And the teacher holiday lunch we have some pictures for the December one, and we had one today also. And last month we celebrated our resource officer during our National Law Enforcement Day. You will see the picture in our next slide. And like I mentioned, during other speakers slot, the Volunteers for Scholarship Committee, there were 20 slots and got filled. And if at all anybody is interested, please do send your names to volunteers@cvhspto.org, and I will have you all in the waiting list. If any of the parents drop out, we will definitely have you in there. There will be a lot of need coming anyways. And for our ice skating event, that is also full now. We have only one student slot available. Please, if your volunteer students can enter free. You don't have to pay for the ice skating event. Then the other one is the 2026 and the next year board committee positions. We will be sending out the sign-up sheet so that you all can, for the next year, we are planning now. We are already in 2026 now. So for the next school year, we will be sending out the sign-up sheet soon for you all to submit your nominations and your volunteering opportunity. Next. Yeah. These are some of the pictures, so you can see our officer here and the holiday cards that we created, the holiday lunch that our PTO community provided to our teachers. One more. Yes, all happy faces. Yeah. That's all I have. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Oops, pardon me. Just one quick thing. I do want to say how amazing these little postcards were that the students did. Wow, how amazing. I mean, our artists are from Carnegie. It's so impressive. I'm so happy that we get to do things like this and, so people can showcase their work. It's incredible.
Gifts and talents.
Yeah, that's right.
Rightly said.
Absolutely. Okay, so just kind of rounding out, Mala, hold on one second. I've got your statement here. All right, take it away.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So hello everyone. My name is Mala. Sorry, I have a really bad throat. So
you would like it smaller or bigger? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine because I have my thing open, so I don't really.
Okay.
It doesn't really
Excellent.
matter to me.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yes. So sorry, my throat is pretty much not to its full potential. So I'll keep it really short. This statement is already available on our website. It has been posted. Soumya confirmed it. So if you like to take more time to look at it and look in details, please go there. So right now, for just a quick report, all those fundraising efforts the PTO did and your support raised about $73,574 dollar. To be rounded up, it's about 75K has been raised this year in our friends and family campaign. So thanks to each and every one of you for donating towards it and making it happen. And then down below are some just bits of small events that happen, like the swag sales or the fall fundraiser and stuff, and some small donations we get from Kroger and Endel. So in the end, we raised about 77K. So and for below down is all the expenditure which goes towards the club supports and making lunches happen, appreciations happen. So all this has been brought down with the category. And the expense so far we have is 25K. So yes, so all this is available in our website. Please take a look at it. And if you have any questions, reach out to me at treasurer@cvhspto.org. Thank you.
Excellent. Great. So unless there are other questions, this will round out our meeting for today. Anything additional? All right, then we're going to close this call at 8:16 p.m. today. Thank you very much, everybody. And on the open question of the SAT date, we'll be sure to communicate as we hear. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you,
Have
Elizabeth.
a great week.
Thank you, everyone.